It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 24th day of March. Today is National Cheesesteak Day. Now, I know all you guys in Philadelphia, you think that you got the only cheesesteak in the world, and I do admit I like Philadelphia cheesesteak. But there's a lot of good cheesesteak around too. So go out and have a cheesesteak for lunch. I might find some place to stop down here for a cheesesteak. I don't know. All right, cruise ships sailing today from North American ports. From Charleston, we got the Carnival Sunshine. Sorry. From Port Canaveral, we got Carnival Elation. Miami has the Divina. Disney Magic Celebrity Summit. Tampa has Brilliance of the Seas. Mobile, the Carnival Ecstasy. And out in Long Beach, the Carnival Miracle. Those are all sailing today. Hot Air Tom eloquently put it this morning that, did Chillie have a brain fart? Yes, he did. I was working on a video this morning about the dinner last night at Pat's Fisherman's Wharf. And when I went to tape the audio, I clicked on the broadcast for this show. So it goes live. And of course, I'm sitting there getting ready to tape the audio for the video. Couldn't figure out why it wasn't working right. So I had to redo the show, send out another link. Hope I didn't screw too many people up. My apologies. You know me with those technical things. No matter how long I do this, I still screw it up. So, all right, headlines today, which we'll get to in a minute. We got 3 Carnival ships visited Grand Cayman, which was a little different from yesterday's story. Costa Magica offered for refugees. A tornado almost hit a cruise ship. Airline CEOs want mask mandate lifted, and a whole lot more here at 11 o'clock this morning. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from, like iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneIn, Podchaser, Pandora, Stitcher, all the biggies, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the fat travel guy. Okay, before we get to the news this morning, Cindy and Mark are on Celebrity Cruise, Celebrity Silhouette, and they were in Barbados yesterday. And Mark was a little sore from the excursion the day before, so he stayed back, but made Cindy go on and go. And she got on the Atlantis submarine. Now, this one I found shocking. I mean, I've never done this, never got on this Atlantis submarines before. So, I mean, I just assumed that you got in, you went down in the hull of this thing and you were already underwater a little bit. And, you went down maybe, 6 or 8, 10 feet. These things go down 150 feet and they're underwater for an hour. I was shocked. I had no idea they went that deep. And of course, you were down there with the fish and other things like turtles and whatnot. But yeah, that was amazing. And then they give you a nice certificate, a dive certificate. So this is the second time Cindy's has done a submarine. I don't know how they are on accessibility, but I might have to try one of these days. And then they got back on, when she got back on on the boat. They went to one of the specialty restaurants, which is Murano. And Cindy had the lobster, which is cooked at the table. I've never seen lobster prepared at the table before. I've had other things cooked at the table, but not lobster. So that's pretty neat. And Mark had a seared milk-fed veal tenderloin. And then Cindy's dessert was a ramonier souffle. So they're having a nice cruise down there on the Silhouette. All right, I'll be back with today's news stories after a break from one of our network sponsors. Back with the news, and quite frankly, folks, there's not a whole lot in the news world today, which is kind of good for me because I'm driving on to Conroe, Texas, after the show, after I get the show processed and get the podcast processed and all the stuff I have to do. So I'm going to take off and drive to Conroe. So I've got a pretty, lengthy a drive ahead of me. So this is going to be a shorter show than normal. So if Emily doesn't wake up soon, she's not going to miss the show altogether or get out of the shower or whatever she does. Yesterday, I reported that Carnival Paradise would be the second ship to return to Grand Cayman. Actually, that was the day before yesterday. But yesterday, there were two ships. There was the Carnival Paradise, which I had said, and also Carnival Sunrise. So they had two ships in yesterday. And today, a third Carnival ship, Carnival Glory, will stop. It's on a 7-night cruise out of New Orleans. So that'll be the fourth ship. 3 Carnival ships and the one that they had in there before. So our friends from Grand Cayman have got a nice little start at getting things back going again. In an effort to support the thousands of Ukrainians displaced by the ongoing Russian invasion of their country, Costa Cruises has offered the Costa Magica as temporary housing for refugees if needed. The cruise line offered the ship to the Italian government for use as an Italian flagged ship is currently positioned off the coast of northwest Italy near La Spezia. According to information from Italy's Ministry of the Interior, the country has seen 65,000 refugees from Ukraine arrive since the Russian invasion began a month ago today. Rome, Milan, Naples, Bologna are the main destination cities for the arriving refugees. The Destiny-class Costa Magica has a guest capacity of 2,700 passengers at double occupancy, with a maximum capacity of approximately 3,400 guests if all berths are filled. All right, you guys all know about my situation with the tornado the other night, and the tornado that hit in New Orleans. When the tornado went over the Mississippi River, a cruise ship was right there. As the pictures show, this one shows even better. That's a tornado going across the Mississippi River. And just to the left of that is a ship that was sailing. So this happened about a little after 7 o'clock. The cruise ship is Seven Seas Mariner of the Regent Seven Seas Cruises. It was nearly hit by the tornado as it crossed the river while the ship was moving down the waterway. The line of storms caused significant damage in the region, including multiple injuries and at least one death. Seven Seas Mariner was moving down the Mississippi River at the time of the storm en route to its next port of call, which was Galveston, Texas, after having spent time in New Orleans from the 21st to the 22nd. The ship departed the port of New Orleans about 7 o'clock. 30 minutes later, the tornado was spotted crossing the river. I have not heard anything from anybody on board the ship if they actually were aware of what was going on or what it was like on the ship. But man, that's scary to me, and I wasn't on the ship. In a letter sent to President Biden yesterday, the leaders of major U.S. airlines urged the White House to lift the mask mandate during air travel, along with the requirement that people entering the country by air take COVID-19 tests within 24 hours of their departure. The letter, which was sent by Airlines for America, the airline industry's trade and lobbying organization, was viewed on Wednesday afternoon. It was signed by major airline heads, including American Airlines CEO Doug Parker, Delta Airlines CEO Ed Bastian, United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby, Southwest Airlines Executive Chairman Gary Kelly, Alaska Airlines CEO Ben Minicucci, Hawaiian Airlines CEO Peter Ingram, JetBlue CEO Robin Hayes, Atlas Air CEO John Dietrich, FedEx Aviation CEO Scott Stumminger, and UPS Airlines President Brendan Canaveral. No word yet on what, if anything, the administration is going to do about the mask mandates. All right, that wraps up the news for today. Let's hop in. Who's in the chat room here this morning? It might help if you take that off, wouldn't you? There you go. Back to me. Okay. Over to the chat room. By the way, I posted another one of my short videos this morning on the visit to Pat's Fisherman's Wharf last night, which is on Ami Bayou. It's spelled A-M-Y, but pronounced Ami. And they made sure I knew how to say it. But anyway, it's a nice rustic restaurant. It's been around since 1948. It was, they have crawdads and gator bites and all kinds of local flavor stuff out of the bayou and typical Cajun Louisiana seafood. I had shrimp and lump crab meat etouffee, which was quite good, but boy, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's got a kick. It was quite spicy. I enjoyed it. Glad I did it. The only thing I did not like about the place, well, it was a little pricey. It was, at least with the lump crab meat, was quite pricey. It was a $32 dinner plus that was for just the meal. I didn't count a couple of adult beverages. So it was an expensive little outing. But I'm not sorry I did it. It seemed to me the value of that dinner, it should have been $22, $23, $24, somewhere along in there. It would have been, I think, a much better value for it. But then I don't know the pricing on lump crab meat, and I don't know the pricing down here. I don't know if this, the whole situation with the supply chain has caused them to raise prices. I have no idea on that part. I'm just going from what it was last night. But anyway, I'm glad I did it. It was an interesting place to go to. Staff there was just wonderful. Totally accessible, indoor and out. There's a ramp. The actual outside, the patio, if you want to call it that, which is out actually on the bayou, is a step down from the floor in the restaurant, but there's a ramp. They have a wheelchair accessible ramp that goes down, so you don't have to deal with that step. So, well done for these folks, and it was an enjoyable meal. I'm glad I did it. So, Jason says, crazy chili at the McDonald's. Yeah, I was tempted this morning when in addition to screwing up today with the link, which I did, I was having some issues earlier with the Wi-Fi signal here, which has been surprising. The hotel Wi-Fi's have been just really good all across. So I was really surprised because it was really iffy there for a while. And maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I redid it and it's been fine ever since. So I tested it out this before. But if it started getting funky again, I would have taken off and found a McDonald's because, yeah, the McDonald's works good, Jason. It really does. Well, yeah, so I got to sit in the car. I could unpack everything and take it in, but yeah. So if I don't have a signal, I don't mind broadcasting from the parking lot in a McDonald's. I'm sure people think I'm weird, but I am. So Hot Air is with us. Good morning, Hot Air. Gretchen's here. Hi, Gretchen. Tony booked escape for April 2nd. Rats. We don't get to meet him, assuming the cruises go. Rumors are the ship may be out of service a few weeks. No sign of it going to dry dock yet. Yeah. I keep doing some checking on it too, and there's just nobody's saying anything. So I'm not sure. But I would think they need a little more time if there's actually damage to the hull. I saw a post that a ship in Charleston sucked in the mooring rope into the front thrusters and had to spend the night. What? Isn't there a checklist to make sure your own ropes are retracted? I hadn't heard that one. Was that the Carnival ship that sails out of Charleston? I don't know. I haven't heard that one. I didn't see that this morning when I was doing my research for the show. All right, there's one I have to check on for tomorrow. Pray for the Carnival sensation. Yes, rest in peace. Going to Turkey and to be taken apart. That's so sad. Oh, I really liked it. The fantasy class ships. That was just the right size for me. Yeah, I've been on most of them, and I enjoy that size. I'm still hoping to, catch a deal maybe one of those weeks that I have open. Catching a really good deal and be able to go down and do the Ecstasy before it gets torched. Sonny's with us. Hi, Sonny. How's things up in Mississippi? Hot Air Tom will live in history as the GOAT. Yes, he will. Kenneth's with us. Hi, Kenneth. How's gas prices in Louisiana? I've paid the highest I paid on the whole trip. Actually, the highest I paid was like in North Carolina or South Carolina. And that was $4.21. It's been under, when it started coming down a little bit, it's been under $4.10. When I filled up last night here in Henderson, it was $4.09. I had one fill up coming across northern Florida in one of those towns, Mariana, or one of those towns coming across there. That was $3.99. It's the only time I paid under $4. But so, yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah, have to do the Atlanta submarine. Sonny says, I've got to check this out. I mean, I don't know if my fat butt, and maybe they don't let fat people in because you might sink the damn boat. And then getting in it and out of it might be an issue for me. But yeah, I've got to try that. that looks, I had 150 feet down. Back in my scuba diving days, I didn't go 150 feet down. And I was a pretty good diver. Might not be in service for us either. Always saying to Gretchen. Plus, I called Penny's Resort and have a problem. They are booked full April 7th to 11th with a wait list. That's never good. Maybe Emily can come down to Richmond and watch Penny. I don't think you're going to be able to afford that in hot air. Get Emily from New York down to Richmond to watch Penny, I would imagine would be costly. I know when Amanda did the other way, when Amanda goes from Virginia to New York on a couple of her clients up there, it's costly. Gretchen says that's where kids come in handy. Yeah. Jason says, Kenneth, can I adopt one of your Danes? That make it the table lobster entree and silhouette. It was delicious. I've never seen that before. Me with lobster, I would jump all over that. Cindy's with us. Hi, Cindy. Good to see you. Tornado went over the ship. I'd love to know. I'd love to find some people that were on that ship and maybe interview them. If there were, they might have not, that was after dark. They might not have even known what was going on. It might have been at dinner or something. Hot Air says, follow the yellow brick road. Jason, we're keeping the ones we got, but the next one we rescue, we will definitely let you know. Jason says, I'm going to Bermuda. I love big dogs. Make sure you get the Bermuda travel authorization video of you jumping through the hoops needed. Yeah, that Hot Air's right on that one, Jason. And make sure you cross all the T's and on the travel authorization, because it's a pain in the butt. From what I hear, I haven't been, but from everybody that I've heard from, they said it's really tough. Sonny says Chillie at McDonald's in his car talking is nothing unusual anymore. Yeah, not unusual at all. Just look for a big fat guy. Just don't call the cops on him. Jason says, make sure everybody gives Chillie a like. Thank you very much. I always appreciate that. Cheaper than flying? I don't know. Probably in the long run, when you take care of the gas, hotels, and meals, probably not. But I don't care. I don't want to fly unless I have to anymore. And I've always loved flying. But that last one just really turned me off against flying. It really did. Now I got 2 cruises coming up that I got to fly to. I got one out of Los Angeles, and then a couple of weeks later, I got one out of Seattle. So I got 2 transcontinental flights. But if I'm really seriously thinking my Florida cruises now, and even the Galveston cruises, unless I just, driving from Galveston back home knocks me out. I've liked this. I've liked this a lot. I've enjoyed the time. I can pretty much, even though, I've had big chunks of mileage I need to cover. Yeah, I really have. I've enjoyed this. I probably would take more time doing more things, just like going to that restaurant last night and making that little video. it was worth doing it just to, just to have that. But yeah, I'm very happy with this trip. I mean, even with the trouble I had, in Port Canaveral. And again, the trouble I had in Port Canaveral, folks, taught me a valued lesson. I went into that thinking, because we had fixed the problem in Miami, that it would be fixed there. And I was not prepared. In Galveston, I will be prepared. And if I have any grief down there, it's going to be another ballgame. One thing, everybody that refuses service in any way, shape, or form is going to be videoed. So I'm going to have full proof to show. The other thing that I have in my favor in Galveston is not only can I request all the things I need to request, I can ask them if they would like me to give them Ron Pettit's phone number, who is in charge of special needs for all of Royal Caribbean, and I have him on speed dial. So that's another thing that should help. It might not, but I'm going to be ready just in case. Amy says, I'm late, but I'm here. Do you know the hoops to jump through for Vancouver? I'll be there in a couple weeks. I don't know that there are any. If there are, Sonny, I haven't heard anything specific about it. Jason says, I'd love to see Emily on a cruise. So would I. That would be a stitch. Hot Air says, Sonny, not sure. I thought I saw that Canada was dropping COVID testing. I think they've opened up. I'm not sure there's anything special. It might be worth, Sonny, checking with your specific cruise line, but I don't think there's, unless there's the 2-day, the 72-hour, whatever it is, like the Abbott pre-test, they might still be doing that. I don't know. Fine. Gretchen says she saw that too. I have to look it up and do it. Yep. Chillie, you need to keep going. We're booked business class on Qatar to Cape Town in January. That should be a sweet ride. Yeah. You will be fine. Just calm down. You are actually a real traveler. Yeah, I know that. Accessible issue videos, good and bad, are needed. Chillie, the accessible guy. Well, yeah, I've got a lot to do, and most of the accessible things from the Meraviglia, I mean, it was perfectly accessible, except for the swimming pools. And you guys know my thoughts on all swimming pools are that they suck. Until they redesign pools for handicapped folks, there's going to be no accessibility to pools and hot tubs. But yeah, I'm definitely have a calling of sorts. It seems that it just kind of fits with where I am in life. So yeah, keep working on it. I'm working on one now for the whole embarkation thing. I'm not gonna get it finished unless I have time tonight. Maybe get it finished tomorrow. But all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. I got to get things processed and head on down the road. If Emily pops in, tell her she should have gotten out of bed earlier. She shouldn't have drank so much wine last night or rolled around with the dogs or whatever she did. So anyway, guys, it's going to wrap me up for today. I've enjoyed it. I hope you guys have too. As always, we do appreciate the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, at least consider doing so. Helps the channel out a lot. Doesn't cost anything. The bell notification tells you when I go live. And then, of course, it probably tells you when I screw up like I did today. But anyway, hopefully everybody got the right link and got here accordingly. So, and I apologize if I screwed you up. So that's going to wrap me up for today. For now, this is the Old Fat Travel Guy. As always, think about cruising, stay safe, stay healthy. Hopefully one day we'll all be on a cruise ship together. That would be fun. See you guys tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Old Fat Travel Guy. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.